Thank you for coming to another day of Dream Talks. Today we're going to touch on the actual journey to this success. I want to say a saying that might go over some of you guys' heads. It's going over my head before. The saying is, there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. I'm going to let that resonate with you for a moment. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to break it down for you. Ask yourself, what are stairs made out of? Stairs are made out of steps. What that saying is telling you is that there are steps to success. You can't just go on, press a button, take one step, press a button, and rise your way to the top. No. It is a step-by-step process. Understand, baby steps are essential to getting everywhere. Anywhere you want to get to in life, it takes baby steps. We've all heard the saying, you have to crawl before you can walk, and you have to walk before you can run. It took steps before you were able to run. Think about your childhood. Let's think about this. How long it took you to walk? About 2 years. Think about when you were 10 years old. Could you walk perfectly? Speaking for myself, I know I couldn't. I was a clumsy kid. I was clumsy. At the age of 10 years old, for walking for 8 years, I still couldn't walk perfectly, something I do every day. Now, that translates to success. You try today, it doesn't work perfectly, that's just a step. Try tomorrow. One thing you don't do when you're taking your baby steps is focus on how you're stepping. Do not focus on how you're stepping. Just focus more on the actual step being taken. When you focus on how, you're focusing on the wrong things. How you're stepping is not part of the final destination. Just focus on taking the steps and becoming better than the day before. Even when you're doing the same task, be better the second time you did it than the first time. There are steps to every process. Some of you out there, y'all managers right now at the company you work for. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some of you are managing positions that when you first started working for the company, you had no clue what to do. That's the position that you started at. But after a series of baby steps, you're now a manager or a supervisor, a boss of that same position that you had no clue the responsibilities of this position when you first started. That's baby steps. People tend to believe in baby steps only in certain times for things that they believe are achievable. They don't think that baby steps are necessary for all aspects of life, and they are. From the moment we're born, going all through life, even till we're old, if you want to get anything done, it's a step-by-step process. That's the process of creation. The process of creation, you don't snap your fingers and it's done. I don't know what you believe in. If you ever looked in a Bible, you will see that creation is not done at the snap of a finger, no matter who or what you are. Let's go through some forms of creation. The most obvious one, babies. We all know how babies are made. We're all adults here. We all know how babies are made. You do the do. 9 months later, after a series of steps and transformations, a human being is born. It took steps in order to get to the baby being born. Let's talk about some other forms of creation. Let's talk about creating happiness. You're not going to find it in another person. I can tell you that right now. No. That's the elevator. That's the elevator. Trying to find happiness through another person. You want to find happiness? Start being happy for little things that only have to do with you every day. Whether it's just waking up. That's a great way to start. Just waking up every day. Be happy about that. Be happy about the ability to brush your teeth in the morning. Putting on clean clothes. Being able to walk outside. Find happiness in the single, normally mostly overlooked daily tasks that we do. Find happiness in those, and I guarantee you will create happiness in your life. But it's a step-by-step process. It's not going to come overnight. Nobody's happy overnight. Nobody gets success overnight. It might seem like it's overnight, but no one gets there overnight. We'll jump into another one. Love, another step-by-step process for people that do it right. Let's talk about romance, that type of love. Loving your significant other. It started out as a common interest that turned into you liking that person. Maybe even before like, it was respect. Then you ended up liking the person. Then you like them a lot. Then you love them. And then this is the big one. Then you fall in love with them. But it's a step-by-step process. It didn't happen overnight. Real love takes baby steps. You got to take your time. Just like everything in this life. You take your time, it's worth waiting for it. You'll get there. Only after a series of steps. We break it down like this because any type of greatness that you want to achieve, you have to work step by step by step by step. Let's drop some names here. This individual gets overlooked or was overlooked a lot for the step-by-step process they took to success. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was not born the king of pop. Michael Jackson actually started out with 4 other people. He started out with 4 other people in a group. He was just the lead singer. But through a step-by-step process, he became the king of pop. He left the group, became a solo artist, did song after song, album after album, performance after performance. Next thing you know, we have the Michael Jackson that we know as the king of pop. The dancing phenom, the entertaining phenom, he became. He wasn't born with it. It took steps. It was a series, 15, 20 years, that he took these individual steps to perfect his craft to the point where we called him the king. The best dancing person we all have ever witnessed. The best entertainer we've ever witnessed. It was a step-by-step process. That's how greatness is achieved. If you don't take those steps in greatness, you won't appreciate it when you get to your success. Because it's cheap. This is why you don't want success overnight. I guarantee you don't want that. Because if you don't take the necessary steps to get to your success, then you're not taking the necessary steps to be prepared for that success. See, the steps don't just get you there, they prepare you for what you need to be in order to be ready and fully accept that success that you will achieve. I'll drop another name out there for you. Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock, took a lot of steps to be successful. Ex-football player in Miami University, the U, wasn't really wanted by the NFL, cut by the Canadian football team, started out as a low-budget wrestler, turned into one of the most hated wrestlers WWF has ever seen, morphed into the People's Champ, and now he is who he is in front of us today, doing voiceovers for animations and the Scorpion King and everything else that Dwayne Johnson is a part of. It took steps to get there. Had he not taken those steps, he would not be the legendary man he is in front of us today. It takes steps to create anything worth creating. Understand that. Accept that. Be ready for your journey. It's the most fun part of this road to success that we talk about here on Dream Talks. When you fully accept your journey, when you fully accept the necessary steps it takes to reach your destination, it's a word for that. You hear it all the time. Athletes talk about it. Your favorite rap, hip-hop artists, they talk about it. It's called the grind. Accept the grind, ladies and gentlemen. That is the step-by-step process. Don't worry if you don't get it right today. Don't worry if you don't get it right tomorrow. Did you walk perfectly the first time you tried to walk? No, you didn't. Did you do anything perfectly the first time you tried to do it? No, you didn't. It was a step-by-step process. It took hours and hours of practice. You play an instrument. You start with one key. You play the guitar. You start with one string. Sometimes you just start holding the instrument. You play the drums. You start by holding the sticks properly before you hit anything to make any sounds. Step-by-step process. I hope it's becoming more clear to you. But see, the steps that are necessary can only go as high as you believe them to go. Like I said in the beginning, it's only about belief. Some people believe that they can do certain things, so they take those necessary steps because they believe in them. Some people think some things are out of reach. They don't believe that they can get there. They're looking at the elevator saying it doesn't go up to that floor. That sounds ridiculous. Step by step. Anything that you want to achieve, you start at the ground level and work your way up. If the steps don't go up that high, that's fine. Start building some more. Maybe the step might not be there. Okay, build another step then. Either way, it's still a step-by-step process. Don't overlook that. Every day is important because every day you are working to become better. Every day you are being more and more who you desire to be so you can achieve everything you desire to achieve. Even belief, even being until you achieve, focusing on the destination, all of those take steps. When you're driving, focusing on your destination, when you're on this road, you don't get in your car, start your car, and then you're there. No, there's miles you have to go, turns you have to make. It's a step-by-step process, people. In everything, breaking it down to cooking. Even microwavable food is a step-by-step process. Pay attention. Don't ever overlook a task because all the greats, they focused on the basics. They focused on those steps. They got those steps right, and eventually they were walking and running smoothly because they focused on the step-by-step process. It's right in front of all of us. If you're not focused and you miss a step, that means you fall, right? Doesn't that kind of sound like failure? When you encounter that temporary defeat, is it possible that you missed a step somewhere? You started focusing on too many other things. You paid attention to all the wrong things instead of the step-by-step process. You missed a step, you fell down for a bit. Get back up, brush yourself off, worry about the step-by-step process, and you will have no problem creating the world that you want to create. Put little goals in front of you to help you focus on that step-by-step process. If you try it in the most simplest form, I mentioned cooking. Focus on every ingredient. I bet you will cook the most bomb meal you ever cooked because you gave individual focus to every step. You don't have to believe me right now. Just try it on the simple things. Try it on the simple things, things that come very natural to you, things that you do every day. And I guarantee you those simple things not only will become easier, but the quality of those simple things will go up. That's why we focus on the step-by-step process. Because at the end of it, you want the perfect creation. You don't want to just throw it together. That's not your ultimate success. You want it to be perfect. You want it to be exactly how you always dreamed.